Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the study of antiquity and the Middle Ages. As always, I'm your host, Nick Barksdale, and today we are joined by a very special guest, Dr. Miano. Dr. Miano, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate being here.
And so we come to a topic that many of us are familiar with at this point, made famous by the History Channel and, of course, none other than Ancient Aliens. I knock Ancient Aliens a lot, but I'm not going to lie. I've probably seen almost every episode that there is. Coming home from work, I want to shut off my brain and just be slightly amused. And really, Ancient Aliens is a perfect way to get a good laugh out of the night or get really mad, depending on how picky you are at their distortion of historical fact. And so my question is, what is the theory behind ancient astronauts? Why is it so popular? And is there any basis for it whatsoever?
Why is it so popular? Well, I think, especially in our culture that grew up with Star Wars and all of that, we just would love it if science fiction were true. You know what I mean? I just think, when you think about it, don't we all love the idea of that there could be aliens on other planets, right? And then we might discover other life forms, and it's just something that just fascinates us. We just love it. We love the unknown. That's why we have a space program. There are reasons to have a space program that, for practical uses. But I think by and large, most people support a space program because they're hoping that we might find something, right? It's just so cool. And I think if you approach history from the point of view I would prefer to believe this because it just makes it more interesting. Then you might be more inclined to believe that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people are like you. They just watch it for entertainment purposes. But I've met people, on my channel anyway, who really buy into this. There, of course, is a subset of that group that takes out the aliens and just believes that there was a lost advanced civilization in the Stone Age that got destroyed by a comet impact and so forth. They take a lot of the same things from the Ancient Aliens crowd. They just take the aliens out. But all of that is just, I think it just appeals to a certain part of our imagination. It just would be so exciting, if it were true, and it would open up so many other possibilities. I even think that some people believe that it might hold the answer to life's questions, right? If we can just find out the secret, maybe it will give us the answer to everything we've been looking for, I think some people probably approach it that way too. And I'm not, I don't want to say that those people are stupid or whatever. I think we all have that in us. But a lot of it is just based on this very, very little evidence, okay? It's almost like I've had a lot of people who subscribe to these ideas. They think that the burden of proof should be on the academics to prove them wrong instead of on them to prove that it's true. You know what I'm saying? If you come up with a theory, okay, it's up to you to prove it, right? Demonstrate it. But oftentimes they'll be like, well, you haven't proved me wrong, so, anyway. Euhemerism is a big thing in this among these groups. Euhemerism is the idea that all myths are based on historical fact, right? All the stories that you get in the different cultures about the gods and so forth, all the legends, that there is some historical kernel of truth in them. And I would say that in a lot of legends there are historical kernels of truth. In myths, not so much, but even with the myths, they say there must be some reality behind this, and that doesn't necessarily have to be true, And they also add just as much weight to myths that were composed thousands of years after the events they're describing, as if they were written contemporarily, as if they somehow knew, oh yes, oral tradition passed it down for thousands of years, and then they wrote it down in this myth and they got it right, or at least part of it right. But that's very far-fetched, Archaeologists, historians, they like to try to get as close to the time as possible, the actual documents from the times, okay? As a matter of fact, there are cases where a lot of the Ancient Aliens crowd or whatever would say that a myth from later on is more reliable than a contemporary document. I've actually seen people say this, like, oh, this inscription which attributes this object to a specific king or to a specific time is wrong, and that this myth written later on is actually right, that this object is much older, or something. So yeah, it kind of has things a little backward, I think, and what counts as evidence and what doesn't count as evidence.
So in short, would you agree that ancient astronauts probably did not exist?
I mean, I can't say for sure that no one from another planet ever came here. But as far as what we're shown in Ancient Aliens or something like that, like here's the evidence, I haven't yet seen anything that is convincing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today at the Study of Antiquity and the Middle Ages on our series where Dr. Miano guides us through a variety of interesting, obscure, and often controversial subjects, and he sets the record straight. Dr. Miano, thank you so much for coming on today.
Hey, it was my pleasure. Anytime.
Check out the links in the video description below. It's going to take you to a variety of sources from his academia page to his YouTube channel, and really just enjoy it and take advantage of all the awesome insights that he has to offer us to help us better understand the subjects that we both love.